Thanks. Eric Swenson with Fulbright and Jaworski. Senator, what are your thoughts on exporting natural gas in the form of LNG and creating additional markets for domestic gas and its impact on the U.S.
Fulbright
Fulbright and Jaworski.
Big law firm.
Well, Ron Wyden is our new chairman on energy, and Ron and I work together well. I like Ron, and I think he wants to move some energy legislation. And Senator Murkowski, I think, is bringing out her blueprint today. So I'm excited about, working with both Ron and Lisa on energy to move some energy legislation. And I'm going to have a number of bills that will help both in the traditional fuels area, oil and gas, but also in the renewables area, doing just what I've been going on here about in terms of trying to create that environment that's going to really stimulate some investment. As you can probably tell from my comments, I believe we live in an interconnected, global, high-tech economy. I don't think we can create a barrier, around our country that somehow is going to benefit our people. I mean, I just don't think macroeconomics works that way. Even if you do it, I think ultimately it'll be counterproductive. One of the first things I did when I got here is I went with Senator McConnell to South Korea, and we met with President Kim there, and we came back, and I was one of 8 Republicans that basically signed onto a letter, and we didn't even get it right the first time. The president required a second effort, but said, we will work with you in order to get the free trade agreements, the Korean free trade and Colombian Panamanian free trade. So whether you like it or don't like it, I believe our markets are interconnected, which is why I describe energy the way I do in terms of energy security. Energy independence, I think, creates to some extent a false sense that we can wall ourselves off, which we can't. But energy security, producing more energy than we consume, I think is a better demonstration of what I'm talking about. More energy security for our country.
So you're pro LNG exports.
The reality is, yeah, I think that's reality. I don't know how you prevent or why you would, how it would work to our benefit. I mean, I understand conceptually the idea that somehow if we kept all our gas here, the prices lower.
This is what Ed Markey, who's
going
to run for Senate Massachusetts, has been arguing. But I think it's a very important question, particularly with Japan, with which we won't have a free trade agreement for a long time. So it's disqualified at the beginning on LNG exports, and Japan is a strategic ally. And it's one of the aliens, the Nobuo Tanaka, who's former head of the International Energy Agency, is pounding the table and saying, we're beginning to see deindustrialization in Japan, the nuclear power problem in Japan, and Russia's beginning to talk to us about a pipeline through the Northern Islands over Japan because we won't export LNG. And so it really is an important issue when it comes to the strategic framework for oil and gas. And I completely agree that it's independent, but I do think it's not one of these things that you can kind of politely waddle through, because you've got a nation like Japan that's going to begin making different strategic choices because it can't avoid them, right?
No, that's, I think, Steve, that's right on. And the other thing is, but even in a broader sense, what about the jobs? What about the economic activity? What about the huge problem we have with the deficit and debt? I mean, energy, particularly, as we process it and deliver it, think of the commerce it creates. And again, our real way out of this terrible problem with our deficit and debt is going to be growth. Not higher taxes, it's going to be growth.
Other questions?